everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. I'm so grateful that you guys come, and I'm genuinely honored for you to come and listen to this video, and I hope it blesses you. For the past couple of weeks, I've been in the book of Daniel, as well as this really cool but underrated 3-chapter book called Habakkuk. Minor prophet, great content, book essentially about lament. And today we're going to be talking about how we can change our what ifs into even ifs. If you're like me, anything like me, then you have a lot of what ifs going on in your head in different seasons of your life. Like right now, we're going through a global pandemic, and the what ifs vary. You know, you ask yourself, what if I get the coronavirus? What if my loved ones get it? What if my sister who's asthmatic gets it? What if my husband gets it? What if the coronavirus affects the market so much that I lose my job, or my husband, or my sister, or my family, or my friends? Just so many what ifs depending on the season. You know, you could be expecting, or you could be wanting to expect, and you're like, what if I don't conceive? What if I can't have a child? What if I can't carry a child to full term? What if... There's just so many what ifs that we go through, and they range from like really big what ifs to even like what may seemingly be small what ifs, like what if my friends and I are not friends anymore? What if I don't get invited to a particular party? Or what if I'm left out? There are just so many what ifs that we go through in different seasons. And the beauty of the Lord in his love for us, in his unfailing love for us, is that he has made it so that we can turn our what ifs to even ifs. I'll take you to the story of Daniel. In chapter 3. Yes, I love Daniel, but this is the book. In chapter 3, Shadrach, Abednego, and Meshach get thrown into a furnace, like a very hot one. King Nebuchadnezzar actually like raises up the heat, like, yeah, they better fry in there. And essentially it's because they didn't want to bow down to the king's God, right? They said, the God we worship is the God we worship. We will not worship your God. And the king gets really mad and he says, throw them in the furnace. Let's see if your God will get you out. And he says, you know, the God we serve is able to save us even from this furnace. But even if he does not, we'll still worship him, and he's still worthy of praise and honor, you know. In the book of Habakkuk, you see the first 2 chapters about lament, about just how the world is so raw and hard and harsh, and how the prophet is like, Lord, how long? You know, when will you make this better? You know, when will this get better? When will you stop using these evil people for your purposes? When will Babylon stop? When will the injustice and oppression stop? And then in chapter 3 of the same book, Habakkuk, you get to see in verses 17 to 18 that there's a little bit of a shift, actually a huge shift. You know, he just turns into even if. You know, he says, even if the fig trees do not grow, the olive crops do not produce any oil, like there's no food in the land. You know, there's nothing. Even if everything doesn't go the way that it's not supposed to go, the world ends. Even then, I will rejoice in the God of my salvation. You know, it is he who leads my path in blamelessness, in righteousness. Essentially saying, no matter what we go through, no matter the fears and the anxieties, and they're just not fears, they're realities, right? Remember in John 16, King Jesus actually says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So it's not that they're just things that are in our head and won't happen. They actually could happen. You know, a loved one could get sick. We will lose loved ones. Friendships end. You know, jobs end. Hard things happen on this side of heaven, and they're reality. But God's word, God in his sovereignty, encourages us to say, even if all of this happens and you have me, you're okay. That's all you need. I love the prophet Isaiah in Isaiah 43 verse 2. He says, when you pass through the rivers, They will not overcome you. When you go through the fires, they will not set you ablaze. When you go through the hard things, you will come out because God will take care of you. The psalmist, I think in chapter 18, verse 2, he says he will trust in the Lord of his strength, And we know David's story, right? He was running away from Saul. He just had a lot of things going on in his life. But still, he was like, even if all of this, I will trust God. And that is my encouragement for you and I today. That we would know God enough through his word, through spending time with him in prayer and just learning about who he is. That we would trust him. That even if, you fill in the blank, God will take care of you. Even if whatever happens in your life happens, when you have him, you will be okay. His purposes are to make us more like him and to make his glory known. Okay, so our what ifs are there, but we need to turn them into even ifs. And I did this really cool thing where I wrote down all of my what ifs, and then I wrote down even if underneath them, knowing that the God who has made me, the God who has promised to take care of me and look after me even to my old age, will take care of me, just trusting him. So my encouragement for you and I is to turn our what ifs into even ifs and just surrender. Surrender the parts of our lives that we want to control, the things that bring us anxiety, and trust God to take us through them. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, please like and share and subscribe. Grace and peace, saints.